Coming from Chicago to Atlanta was probably like the first stage where I felt like my life changed. I had to go from a society to where I felt like anger and hatred and violence was all, not necessarily all that I see, but all that I hear. And it was almost to the fact where even my family, I was very close-knit to my family. We're really close to God. We really don't believe in violence. But the area around us was just not fit for me. So the fact that I moved was just a blessing in itself. I hate that some of the things that were in my culture living in Chicago traveled with me to Atlanta. So me going in to elementary school and middle school in Atlanta, I had some of the same ways. I was very shy. I was very rejectful. I had hatred in my heart, but I didn't know exactly where it was coming from, you know? And I really, really, really feel like once I start getting around like good, honest people is when I started lightening up, you know. That northern mentality, the brush people off your shoulder, you really don't want to talk to them. If you got something to say to me, it better be about business. And that's how I felt coming in to Atlanta. But really, there's some really genuine people out here, and I'm very appreciative of all the things that they did for me. But at that time, I really wasn't very accepting of all the things that were coming my way. Like I said, from moving from middle school to high school, I think that was probably like one of the biggest changes in my life, because I went from this college, not college, but Chicago boy, and trying to fit in with this Atlanta crowd. You know, I really wasn't truly being myself, you know. Even though I was, you know, very rejectful and stuff like that, I didn't really get to express all the things that I really like to do, which was like play basketball, just play video games and stuff like that. The people that I was around at that time weren't talking about that. And I felt like I was compelled to try to fit in just so that I could survive and have friends and stuff like that, when I really didn't have to. You know, it wasn't until I got into high school and I realized that just being by myself was more beneficial than being around people that really didn't have my best interests at heart in the first place. From high school to college, going to a PWI, and recently just only knowing black people, I think that was probably like the biggest change for me, because I learned how to be me in a multicultural environment. My first reaction when I thought I was going to LaGrange, I'm like, man, I'm embarrassed, I'm going D3 or something like that. But really, what I was doing was I was choosing a fit, you know. I thank God for everything he did for me. You know, God, one thing I live by, God don't make mistakes. And he led me to LaGrange, because from all the things that I've learned how to do, whether even from dual enrollment at Georgia State, I knew that I didn't like big classrooms. And so it was only natural that I would generate myself towards like a smaller liberal arts college like LaGrange, which was cool. And I still got to do what I love. I like to play basketball, and I got to be able to evolve not only my brain, but my game in a place where I felt safe. Well, not completely safe, but safe enough, you know. Just moving from high school to college, and the predominantly white institution that I was going towards, it was definitely like a culture shock. You know, at first I felt like I was, on my freshman year, I felt like I was going through the same thing that I was doing in middle school. You know, I was trying to fit in with people rather than just be myself. And then once I realized that people were gonna like you for you, no matter who you are, if they ain't gonna mess with you, they ain't gonna mess with you to begin with. If they mess with your campaign, that's what they're gonna do. So once I learned that, my life just became smooth sailing. So I thank God for everything he done put me through so far.